Probably no, because the backing may be there, but they may not allow you to draw against it just to know that it is there. The euro has about 7% backing. I don't see any other potential European currency coming down the line. He says, it seems to me that any talk of a gold-backed currency is meaningless without convertibility, and that's true. And the U.S. dollar was convertible, but they stopped that. Where am I? Such is the case with the euro. Can you hear me?
Yes, just
fine. I heard a noise in the line. I thought I lost you.
No, just fine.
As in the case of the euro, ostensibly, at its inception, just was interested in your thoughts. And, you know, it's not convertible, but it's there for the euro. That's the only currency in the world. And what's going to happen is they're going to have to base all the currencies on 10 or 15%, maybe more, gold, whether they like it or not. And if they don't do it, the public's just going to hang them. Simple as that. It's going to come. We're right and they're wrong, and we're going to win. Next one, John. Below pasted AP article references Obama's scheduled powwow to discuss the Afghan war and it being preempted by a helicopter crash in which 3 drug agents were killed. Can we surmise that this crash was a hit on the drug agents? I don't have an answer for that. I don't have any insight into it. Can we also surmise... Hold on, I had to wave to somebody. The carpenter. Can we also surmise that Obama is in the dark about the role of Afghanistan as a drug producer for funding the black budgets and thus the hit on the drug agents? I don't think so. He knows everything that's going on over there. He knows the CIA is running the operation, and he's probably getting a piece of it. End of story. That's the way our government runs today. Corruption. Hi, Bob and Melody. This is from Anthony. Same question but he says, were they on a drug raid? Also, there is another story about a 39-year-old man who lost his job and joined the Army to get health insurance for his wife who had cancer. Well, is that what it's come to? I guess. Anyway, the Operation Afghanistan is a CIA MI6 joint operation. They're flooding the world with 93% of the heroin that's consumed. And all the profits are going into black operations because the CIA is nothing more than a drug mafia. This is from John. Can you discuss the news on Citibank and its plan to raise all the cardholder rates up to 30%? And the answer is yes. They're a bunch of crooks. And it's ridiculous. And if you've got a card with Citibank, cut it up and send it back to them. Just keep one card and that's it. Do all the rest of your business in cash. And are they doing this to every cardholder? My answer is I don't know. And I don't think so. I think it's selective. They're going first after the people, the cheats, the people who don't run up any bills every month. They pay them off. Can you explain how gold and silver options market expiration timetables? And the answer is no, I can't. I always call one of the commodity brokers, and he tells me. And it's usually the last Tuesday or Thursday of the month. It all depends. I think it's X amount of days before the close. Maybe we'll say 7 days as a guess. And so it's a different day each month. He asked about the third Friday, and the answer is no. And the current trading month was Tuesday. And Tuesday was 3 days ago. That was the 27th, I think. And so what was that? 4 days before the end of the month. So who knows? If you want to know, all you have to do is email me, and I'll tell you, because I got to know. But I asked somebody. And that is it. Go ahead, Melody, do your 500 questions.
Well, you know what? Nobody likes me today. I didn't get any questions.
Actually,
the questions that I did get were answered in the beginning of the program, and a lot of them were duplicate questions, so I don't see, I hope everybody heard the answers, so, yeah.
Okay. Did I tell the audience, if you can remember, about B of A and what's going to happen to them?
No, you didn't. In fact, you know what? I'm glad you did bring up BOA, because I do have I'm glad you brought, she was on my computer to ask you this question, and I just took it down today, and she has accounts with BOA, and she's a little concerned what to do.
All right, let me tell you what they're doing. The Federal Reserve is buying toxic waste from the major banks, brokerage houses, and insurance companies. About $1.2 trillion, and I think they're halfway through. But that's not enough. So, what they're doing is having these banks dump all of their garbage into Bank of America. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. Bank of America is being the recipient of all of this garbage because they're going to take Bank of America under next year. That's the word I get from my sources. And if you have an account, it'll probably just be given to another bank. It's not really going to be too disruptive, not at this point in time. But it's what they're doing, because when Bank of America is under, all of that stuff goes into some great dark pit someplace. And so, but the most important thing is they're relieving the banks that do have this garbage of having it. And they're probably giving them an inflated price on it. Instead of 10 cents on the dollar, it might be 50. And that's why the Fed doesn't want to tell you what they're doing, because what they're doing is bolstering the banks that are going to be saved. That's why Ken Lewis left as CEO of Bank of America. And I was also told that Quorum, which went out of business about, I think, a week ago, not this last one, the one before, and it was taken over by M&B, and the proviso was that M&B would not take any of the toxic assets. They all went to the Fed, which means it went to the American taxpayer. And because the Fed is allowed to create debt that the American taxpayer is responsible for. It's all in the 1913 Act. Another thing I was told is that in Chicago, there are 30 medium-sized banks that are walking zombies. And none of the other banks in the country will take them over because the Fed doesn't want to take the garbage with it that can help it. And so they're just standing there until the Fed takes them over. So I think the Midwest, surprisingly, is going to get hit pretty hard. You know, they've already get hit hard in Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana. This is going to really hurt Illinois. And I don't see any way around it. So that's what we got in store for us in the near future in banking, and that's what they're up to. And remember, you heard it here first.
You know, Bob, with those banks, you know, if they're just walking zombies, I mean, these cities in the Midwest, I mean, they're just becoming ghost towns. I mean, there's just no way they can transform them into anything else but, I mean, where do these people go? I mean,
I don't know.
Where do they go? I mean, what do they do?
I just don't know. And, you know, here we are in the middle of a depression. Whether you want to call it that or not, it remains to be seen. But I'm calling it that. And I did almost a year ago this coming February. And I don't know where they're going to go. I mean, the whole country has a problem. Europe has a problem. Canada's doing well. Australia's doing well. And New Zealand has a problem. Mexico is doing well. Central America's doing well. South America's doing reasonably well, particularly Brazil. And, you know, Chile never used any stimulus, so they'll probably continue to do well. They've done extraordinarily well in Chile for what they have. And, of course, Brazil and South America's done the best. And Argentina still has political problems. But you got to remember, outside the United States, that people usually put 20 or 30 or 40 or 50% down in a house. And in Latin America, it's 100%. Not many people owe money on their